5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
And we are back today with a new video. I hope you guys are doing great. Today we're going to be talking about the basics of tuning, how to get started, because this is the one question I get asked the most. Where do I start? What parts should I get? How much power am I going to make? Does it even matter? So before we do that, I got some new goodies here for my camera that might make things a little easier and better for us in future films and videos. So let's open this up and see what we got. Got that trusty knife. Boom. Alright. First things first. 3 suction cup car mount by Fat Gecko. Triple mount. Oh, that's gonna make life so much easier over that GoPro. First things first. We have another suction cup for the car, except this one uses, what is this? This one uses a regular mount. Now the beauty of this is I'm going to be able to attach this hot shoe adapter, which is going to allow me to attach an external microphone. Which brings me to the last piece, the extended wire for the microphone. So this is going to allow me to pretty much mount the camera anywhere and the microphone separate from the camera. For example, I have the camera on the side of the car and I could route the microphone all the way to the exhaust. It's going to make for a lot better videos. Or even in the engine bay, get those nice whoosh sounds recorded. So, and that's how that's going to look. See, got a regular hot shoe mount. That's going to focus. And a suction cup. So this is going to be great for future videos. And let's move on. Alright guys, so you guys saw that camera equipment we just got in. I'll make a video using that. We'll test it out for next time's video. For today, we're going to be talking about tuning. So I have my notes in front of me here just so I know what I'm going to talk about. So in particular, it's going to be about the main questions you usually get. This is just going to cover the surface. There's a lot more to tuning and how it works. The actual programming, math scaling, advancing timing, and all sorts of other stuff. But for most of us, we just need to know these basic things. And from what I've learned and experienced so far, and maybe, 7 years of modifying cars, I'm going to try to tell you guys what my experiences have been with my WRX, of course. So we're going to talk about 1, warranty, because it's pretty much on everyone's mind. 2, where do I begin? What do I do? 3, what parts do I need? 4, should I get a ProTune, an Etune, or is just the off-the-shelf map fine that comes with that tuner? And how much power am I going to make? It's a really popular question, but we're going to start with number 1, which is going to be warranty. And I'll also leave the timestamps for each and every single category if you just want to skip through them in the description below. Let's begin with warranty. Will I void my warranty? No. This depends on your dealership, number 1. Number 2, it depends on what part you're modifying, because when you change, let's say you put an intake on the car, for example, and something happens to your suspension, they have nothing to do with each other, one another. So if you take it to the dealership and you tell them, hey, my suspension broke, and they see an intake on your car, it has nothing to do with it. That is still covered under warranty, and you're protected by the law for that. So another example would be, let's say you put an axle back and your radio stops working. That's still covered. It has nothing to do with it. So let's say you put the intake on and either you start experiencing engine issues, or you throw a rod, or you spin a bearing, or God knows what happens. That they have basis to deny your warranty. Now they could be really nice people and do it for you anyway, or sometimes I've heard Subaru of America chipping in for the repair, even though they have no reason to do so legally. Now, in the past cars I've been lucky and I've made a good relationship with my local dealership, where even though my GTI was modded to hell pretty much, it had a bigger turbo, water methanol injection, air suspension, God knows what. It's had so much warranty work done, I've never had to pay out of pocket. And if they ever did ask once or twice, I think, for a diagnostic fee, I was willing to pay, because this brings me to the most important thing, which you probably heard. It's you have to pay to play. So if you're gonna go tune your car and modify it and you're not ready to fork down some serious money for replacement, short block, or whatever it may be, just don't do it. It's not worth it then. It's not for you. Moving on to number 2, where do I begin? Let's see. You have a few options. You can go with the most popular one, which is purchasing a COBB access port, which is going to be acting as your tuning device that's going to connect to your car's ECU. It's like a handheld device that you're able to upload tunes from. There's other brands that are out, like I believe open source brands they call them. There's ECU Tech. There's I forget. There's a bunch of them, but the most popular one is COBB because it's just the most easiest to use for anyone just beginning. What parts do I need, or what do you recommend I purchase with my tune? So, if you are going to be going with the off-the-shelf map, and I'll be talking about the differences between the off-the-shelf Etune and ProTune in a little bit. So if you're going to go with the off-the-shelf map from COBB, let's say, you are pretty much limited to what they tell you their tunes will work with. So they will have a tune specifically just for their J-pipe and their intake, or just no hardware added, or I believe they have one just for the Mishimoto intake and tune, or the ETS intake and tune, etc. So as far as what parts do I need, that's up to you. Depends on how far you want to go. My recommendations are always go with the parts that are going to help make safer power. So what I mean by that is top mount intercooler or front mount intercooler, because it's going to allow for cooler air charge to reduce chances of pre-detonation or knock, which can be very detrimental to your engine. So another one would be the 3-port Grimmspeed electronic boost control solenoid, which will prevent overboost. I mean, the odds are that's not going to happen, but it makes it for a much smoother boost curve, and takes out that variable where it's possible that you could overboost and mess something up. Otherwise, as far as performance bits go for added power, I personally stayed away from the TGV deletes. I didn't do actually, that's pretty much the only thing I did, and I really don't have any other reason that I didn't do them. It's just for the extra 10 horsepower, it wasn't really worth it to me. I already hit the figures I wanted to. That was my goal, and I wanted to stay in a reliable power band. So if it's working, great. So your options for the main parts that add power will be the J-pipe, pretty much. That is the main part. Intakes are debatable. They can or can't add power. Some people say once you get to 400 horsepower, you'll notice the added difference. That's when intakes will come into play, or you may gain 5 horsepower. It's a debated topic always. Someone says I gained 20 horsepower, someone says I gained 0. So that's up to you. I did the Mishimoto intake as well as the J-pipe. So what I recommend, if you want to just do a light mod, go with the top mount intercooler. Go with a 3-port electronic boost control solenoid, and just get a tune. Now, if you want to go further, I mean, people call them stage 2, but there's really no such thing as stage 2. It's just something made up by a certain tuning company, referring to a certain combination of items, parts. But most will refer to a exhaust and tune as stage 2. So if you want to take it that much further, you would go with the top mount intercooler, the 3-port boost control solenoid, and a J-pipe of your choice, preferably catted, because there are such things as boost creep on these engines, even though people say otherwise. It could happen. Plus, I've pretty much gotten sick of catless J-pipes. They stink. So that is very subjective. You could pick whatever part combination you want. Go with whatever you want, depending how simple you want it. You want to go full bolt-ons, sure, go for it. Now, that brings me to, should I get a ProTune, Etune, or off-the-shelf map? This is very important. Off-the-shelf maps are maps made by COBB pretty much to work anywhere around the world, no matter what the climate is, no matter what the elevation is. It takes everything into account, so it's not very specific for your vehicle, which also means it's not as safe and it won't make as much power at all compared to an Etune or a ProTune. So take that for a grain of salt. So I would stay away from off-the-shelf map. That's just me personally. Etune. Etune is great if you're nowhere near a Pro Tuner and you just want something that's quick and gets the job done. It is a road tune, so basically you're going to be going out there, loading the map that your tuner emails you, and then you're going to be doing logs for them and sending them back to their tuner. And then your tuner is going to revise that map, send it back to you. You're going to upload it and you're going to do another log, so on and so forth until your tune is perfected and your tuner feels that they're happy with it. Now, the only negative about this is your tuner, in pretty much 99% of the case, will never ever push or push your parameters anywhere near its limit, just because they're not there feeling what the car is doing itself. So this is going to be pretty much a very conservative tune, even though some also say that it is not as safe as a Pro Tune, which I gotta agree with, because numbers may look alright on a log, but the car itself may react differently, which only the tuner could feel in person when they're getting on that throttle or they're rolling on that throttle on the dyno. So which comes to my recommendation: fork down the $500 to $400 or whatever it is for the Pro Tune, because you're getting a custom tune specifically for your car, specifically for the parts on your car, and for the octane fuel you have. This is going to allow for the safest and most powerful tune altogether. Now, it goes without saying, you need to make sure you do your homework. Don't go to any backyard tuner that's tuning cars for 20 bucks. That's probably going to end up bad. You're going to want to go to someone that has a reputation, a really good reputation. It's relatively close to you in case you need to drive by, go and get your car, inspected for whatever reason. And customer service. You want to be able to call them whenever there's an issue with your car, and they will be able to help you within the day and not just leave you in the dark. So that's very, very important. But when I went from an Etune to a Pro Tune, I made a lot more power, and I did have some knock in my Etune that completely went away on my Pro Tune. My Pro Tune has been the safest, most powerful tune I've had on the car, and it feels just great. So that brings me to the last one: how much power will I make? So this is this is a question that gets tossed around a lot on the internet. I can't tell you how much power you're gonna make because every single dyno is different. You could put 4 Mustang dynos next to each other. They could read even 20, 30 horsepower different from one another because they are all calibrated differently, or they're in different climates or elevations or whatever it may be. There's no such thing as the same exact dyno. I can get on a Dyno Dynamics and make the same power as a Mustang dyno and somewhere else, but on another dyno pack, I'll make 40 more horsepower. You can't compare these numbers. The best thing to do is stick to one dyno from the start. Go get your base dyno done at that same dyno. And then once you put your upgrades on, you do it on the same dyno, and you just look at how much power you did make over your baseline dyno. Don't look at the numbers itself. If it says 220 horsepower, who cares about 220? It doesn't mean anything. So you can't go online and compare your number with anyone else and say, oh, I have more mods than you, but I made 20 more horsepower. How is this possible? Something wrong with my car? No, there's probably nothing wrong with your car. It's just they don't read the same no matter what you do. So that's that. Don't kill yourself over that. So guys, I hope I did not bore you with that. I really wanted to make this video. Hopefully answered some questions. Remember to take it with a grain of salt. This is from my experiences, what I've read, what I've researched, what I've actually done to my car. So of course, it goes without saying, make sure you comment if you have any questions. If I made a mistake or said something that's wrong in your opinion, please let me know. It may change my mind about something, or I might learn something new. So yes. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you like it, comment, subscribe, and I'm also going to leave a link to all the new video gear in the description if you're interested, or you guys want to check it out. And I'll have a new video, a driving video, probably up Angelo's Crest with this new setup soon. Maybe for next time. So anyway, peace out, guys. See you guys next time.